Roll call of members, Mr. Jeter, District 1.
Here.
Mr. Tipton, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Herron, District 3.
Here.
Mr. Bricky, District 4.
Here.
Mr. Mann, District 5.
Here.
Ms. Hood, District 6.
Aye.
And you might acknowledge for the minutes that you've got a quorum in the room and 3 by conference call, and that they're each of their houses, I guess, where they're calling it.
So we have a quorum at this meeting. We have 3 members at home. Approve the agenda.
I do have a change to the agenda. The kids fishing day at National Channel has been canceled, so we will remove item number.
Okay.
And that's the only changes that I have to the agenda.
Peter. And Mr. Bricky. Okay. Okay, going on to item number 5, the agenda, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Agenda is approved. All right, so in your packet, we had the meeting amendments from March the 4th. Do we have any March 4th, 2020 meeting?
I'll make it. I second it.
Okay. Mr. Herron makes the motion, Mr. Bricky second. Motion carried. Means approved. All right, going on to citizens expression period. It's on our agenda, which is the citizens expression period. The citizens expression period is a point in the meeting when anyone who wishes to address the board or staff is concise and businesslike. If no one has signed up to speak, we have no particular order. We just ask that you take turns and speak your business. Any actions will be considered after we close citizens expression period.
Contact, and we have contact information for Mr. Carter to get back in touch with him.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to remind the board that the board last year established every April this board as Litter Awareness Month. And you'll be seeing some flyers come out on social media, some billboards along some of the major highways in an effort to educate our citizens about the influence that litter has on our county and society, the economy.
Do you have anyone else?
We'll go on to item number 7, which is the public hearing, the ordinance for the animal, Scott County Animal Control and Rabies Control Ordinance.
I'll be handling that in place of Mr. Doherty and Mr. Kuchenauer because of safety issues. So I have their PowerPoint.
Okay.
Bill, could you move that PowerPoint up, please? The proposed changes to the shelter's fee structure are designed to reduce against contagious disease. And of course, we want to make sure with this program that our citizens are getting the healthiest animal possible. So that's how the wellness program became about, and we were looking at ways to recoup those charges. So that's how the fee structure came about during the meeting. All animals would be vaccinated, and the health record would be kept, and that would be given to the new owner of the pet once it was adopted. Some of the changes currently, this is what we are doing. They get wormer and emergency vet care as needed. There's currently no adoption fee, and they are required to have their pet spayed or neutered within 30 days of adoption, or if it's a puppy, or when it's old enough, and it currently has a $3 housing fee if it's a return. And the adoption fee that we're considering today is $30. The spay and neuter would stay the same. If we have a pet that comes to the shelter, and then the same $3 each day after that the animal is housed at the shelter before return to owner. And the Humane Society would pay $10 for any animal that they pull from our shelter to send to rescue. And that's all the new slides we have. If you've got any questions, I'll try to do my best to answer those.
For somebody to pay.
And they know they're gonna have a healthy animal
Yes.
when they adopt it.
Yes. Okay, with that, I will take a,
Public hearing. Just open it up. We don't have to go through the motion.
So we'll now enter into a public hearing if there's anyone here that wishes to speak.
okay,
Sorry, we don't have anyone, so we can close the public hearing.
okay, so I'll close the public hearing.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this ordinance to amend the Scott County Animal and Rabies Control Ordinance.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Bricky seconds the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. Now we'll move on to item 8 on our agenda, which is another public hearing on special use permit application submitted by Mr. Leonard Taylor of Nicholsville for retail sales in the Nicholsville area of Scott County.
We have Mr. Gilson.
Mr. Gilmer?
Good morning, board.
Good morning.
Hope everybody's well. About a couple of months ago, Mr. Taylor, he lives on the highway where I live there. And he was, came and asked me about an electrical permit, and he and I got together and we were talking about, he and his wife had talked about selling some items, and started out as just antiques, and it ended up he was wanting to sell some jewelry and some clothing at the same place. So we're looking at the ordinance, zoning ordinance. There's the application that he put in. And there is the location approximately on the county map. It's on Big Moxon Road, about a mile or so up the road. He actually had sold the property below this to another gentleman and had put up one of those yard barns, and there it is in color. And we discussed it. He went over the requirements and everything, and he put in a special use permit. We had the public hearing with the planning commission. They listened to it and agreed that approved or recommended to the board approve his permit. I'll get over in here. It is zoned agricultural residential, and for him to sell jewelry and retail sales, he has to apply for a special use permit, which is what we hear about. And there is a definition, it's in your all's packet, of the retail sales. I gave you all a packet of that this morning. The adjoining property owners were notified by a registered letter. And the only comment I got back was from the owner, the gentleman he had sold the property to before, Mr. Lyons, and he was questioning, but since in a 2-month period, he has put his house up for sale. So I don't know, he's he was gonna be here, but he decided he was gonna sell his property instead of me. That's, what happened. Now, we contacted the Taylors on Monday, this last Monday, and talked to them. And they gave me, I went by and picked up, this piece of paper from them, noting what they wanted to say. And the main part is on the second page. They will not be, and if you look at the first page, it gives you the operating hours and what they're going to try to sell at this location. It's more or less a Facebook type sales. They're selling stuff on Facebook, delivering it to this building, and then they'll be picking it up from there. Any questions?
When something like this, when we change this, what, does it just change that property or does it change everything around it or how?
No, it just changes that one particular parcel. But it's a big parcel. If you look back at the map, right there in the center,
Oh, yeah.
this ticker don't show up on the screen, but it is pretty good sized parcel. Now, again, this is for the, this will be from, right there's the parcel of the arrow to it. And this changes the zoning, that special use permit is for that whole parcel. So even back at the back. Any questions? I gave you all a packet of all information. Yeah. Late.
I talked with Mr. Taylor. Oh, I'm sorry.
This opens the public hearing. Anybody have anything they would like to ask, add, or comment on?
I'll just make mine.
We have no one. So I'm gonna get one. That closes the public hearing. Now I'll take a motion to approve the special permit.
So moved.
Mr. Jeter makes the motion to approve,
I'll say it.
and Mr. Herron seconds that. All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now we'll move on to item 9, with the emergency declaration.
Are you doing an emergency declaration?
I can say a few words. This just is a resolution confirming the declaration of local emergency that was done on March 23rd. We have to confirm that resolution anytime we do an emergency resolution within 45 days of doing it. So this will take care of that.
Do you have any discussion about that? Any questions about that? So, do you have a motion to approve the emergency declaration resolution?
I'll make a motion to confirm the emergency declaration.
Thank you, Mr. Ricky.
I'll say it.
Mr. Herron seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Frida. All right, now we'll go on to item number 10, which is the mutual aid agreement for Lee County. We also have Washington County as well.
mutual aid agreement on your tablet is between the Scott County Sheriff's Office and the Lee County Sheriff's Office. And there's also one in your packet that is between the Scott County Sheriff's Office and Washington County Sheriff's Office. The one at Washington County was in effect and expired December 31st, so that one is just a renewal. And the one with Lee County is a new agreement. And these are very similar to what we did last month with the agreement with Russell County. So we'll need to vote on these separately, and we'll start with the Lee County one.
Okay.
Or if you have any questions, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Does anybody have any questions about the mutual aid agreement for Lee County? Any comments?
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
Thank you, Danny.
I'll second.
Mr. Herron seconds. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion carried. Same type thing.
I'll make the motion.
All right, Mr. Jeter makes the motion.
Second.
Mr. Bricky seconds. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we'll do item number 11, which is the Code Red grant from Ms. Starnes.
And we have one more.
We did that.
Okay, three. Two.
Just two.
Sorry.
On the Code Red, that is a regional grant that we have with other localities surrounding us. And what Code Red is, it is a text alert system that 911 can send out messages to the county. We're just getting started in that process. The grant was awarded. Wise County has had it for several years. And this budget year was the first year we had ever participated. So we're trying to get that up and running now. And I just need your authorization to show our support with a letter for the county's agreement to participate in the 2020 SHSP regional grant for the mass notification system that will be submitted by Wise County.
Does anybody have any questions or comments about that? Can I get a motion to allow Ms. Starnes to sign?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Bricky makes the motion.
I'll second. Ms. Marshall.
Mr. Morrow. Mr. Tipton seconds. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next is item 12 on our agenda, which is the Telecommunicators Week.
There's a resolution on your tablet to consider for National Telecommunicators Week, which will be April the 12th through the 18th. Our emergency communications workers are a very important part of our county staff, and we really appreciate everything that they do for our citizens. Of course, that's a thankless job, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. But here at Scott County, we really appreciate them. And this resolution just declares the week of April the 12th through the 18th to be National Telecommuters Week in Scott County, Virginia, to honor the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and citizens safe.
So can I get a motion to approve that April the 12th through the 18th will be Telecommunicators Week here in Scott County?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Well, all right, Ms. Hood. Ms. Hood makes the motion. Can I get a second?
Tipton, second.
Mr. Tipton seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion carried. I think that speaks volumes that we all kind of have to say thank you to our telecommunicators. I think that was great. Good job, guys, on the phone.
You're doing a good job, Ms. Ruth.
Thank you, sir.
I'm taking that. Good job.
Thank you all. All right, we'll move on to item number 13, which is Ms. Amy Vickers with our bookkeeping.
I'll take care of that for Amy today. We'll start off with appropriations. We need to appropriate $1,904.23 to Circuit Court Clerk's Technology Trust Fund, Capital Outlay Office Equipment, 29-21655-8102 for monies received and deposited at the Treasurer's Office. Note deposited in 3-29-23070-1 on 3/6/2020, and appropriate $603.50 to the Sheriff for repair maintenance vehicles 31200-6009 for an insurance claim received and deposited at the Treasurer's Office. And that's all of the appropriations.
I make a motion to the appropriations as described by Brenda.
I'll second.
Mr. Mann makes the motion, Mr. Ricky seconds. All in favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, and for transfers, please transfer $2,500 from Information Systems Conferences 21540-5540 to the Repairs Maintenance 21540-3310. And I also have one additional to add, and that would be to transfer $11,000 from 0312000-1100 Sheriff's Office salaries to 31200-8001 vehicle replacement line item Sheriff's Office. And the reason for that transfer is that's remaining money from an employee's salary that the previous administration had asked to be moved from the vehicle replacement line item to the salary line item. But since January 1st, that employee is now in a comp board position. So they're asking to move that money back into their vehicle replacement line item, and $11,000 was what was remaining. So the two transfers is all we have for those.
Can I get a motion to approve the transfers?
I'll make a motion to approve the transfers and saw on the sign, I'll say I saw a picture of the new vehicle, and they look great. Good job, Sheriff.
Good job.
I'll second.
And Mr. Ricky makes the motion, Mr. Herron seconds. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Item 14 on our agenda is appointments. Looks like we have one appointment.
Yes, the person appointed to the CPMC board needs to be a representative of a private organization or association of providers for children's or family services. You have two applicants. Mr. Ott would qualify to serve on that. Mr. Romanoff would not, since he does not serve on that type of organization.
So we did clear up, where he wasn't arrested, the way it's wrote up, he can go ahead and do that.
Yes, Ms. Kelly said that we could do that.
Okay.
The way the statute reads, it's the organization that has residency, sort of, and he's the representative of that.
That's good. I'm on that board, so he does do a good job. He's been there. I'd like to nominate Mr. Ott.
All right. Do we have any more nominations for the comprehensive management or policy management team?
I'm in the nomination
I
stage.
make a motion that nomination cease nomination cease by acclamation.
Mr. Tipton makes the motion that we vote. All in favor, say aye.
Wait a second.
Oh,
I'll say.
sorry. Mr. Herron seconds. Now we need a motion. Now we need to vote. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Ott, congratulations. All right, now we'll move on to item 15, which is our county attorney items. Ms. Caitlin?
I have a couple of things. I'm gonna stand up here so that hopefully the people on the phone can hear me. We, need to consider an emergency ordinance for continuity of government. I gave you all a copy at your, where you sit, and the guys on the phone have it by email. The ordinance is allowed by code to address continuity of government during a disaster such as the one we're in with COVID-19. It allows this board and other boards, authorities, including the school board, to hold meetings through electronic means without the need for a quorum in the room. It also allows in effect for 60 days. And if we want to continue it, I'll talk about that in a second. But if you all would approve.
A motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Mr. Jeter makes the motion that we adopt the ordinance.
Second.
Mr. Ricky seconds. All in favor? Say aye.
Advertise a public hearing to adopt it for longer if we see it's needed. A public hearing in either May or June. It would run out a few days before the June meeting, so it'd probably be better to do it in May if we see this month that we're gonna need it for longer. I have this flexibility. It doesn't mean that we can't meet in this room as with a quorum. We can still do what we did today, but it allows us to stay at home and do it electronically if we need to. Any meetings or any business that we need to take care of. So I just need that authority to advertise the public hearing if needed.
I'll make a motion to extend this ordinance as our county attorney explained.
Mr. Ricky makes the motion to extend it, advertise for the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Mr. Jeter seconds that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Caitlin.
That's all I have, unless you all have questions.
What platform would we use if we were going to do electronic? Would we all have to have would we call in like they did today?
We could do that, yes.
Okay,
We're still figuring that out.
okay. Just curious.
On what would work best since there's so many.
Right,
Yeah. We've talked about Zoom and,
that's what I was going to say. Zoom's pretty good.
yeah, so we'll get that figured out before we need to do it.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 16 on the agenda, which is Ms. Starnes' items.
You have your treasurer's accountability report in your folders today. You will see some discrepancies between the first page and the second page chart, and that is because we didn't have things posted from the treasurer's office yesterday. So our general fund balance estimated will be on page 2, $5,016,000, $5,016,427. Claims for the month, we had some early claims that totaled $97,545.13. And then we had some claims for the month that total with the early included $421,806.07. Advanced disposal for February was $30,091. Dominion of Bedford, 2 sheriffs, Durango's $57,456. Lonesome Pine Regional Library for fourth quarter, $52,332.50. And Scott County Health Department for the fourth quarter, $59,332 were some of your larger claims for the month. So total claims that need to be approved today is $421,806.07, and that amount has been taken out of the $5 million total for the general fund.
Anybody have any questions about that? Can I get a motion to approve the claims?
I'll make that motion.
I have one quick question for you.
Okay,
The two Durangos, is that the vehicle we were talking about buying?
yes. That, they have money in their budget line item this year locally, and they received those after the department yesterday.
Okay, good. That's all.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Herring made the motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Mr. Bricky seconds. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, on to item number 17. We'll go around the room. Go around and discuss any items we need to discuss between us. Mr. Jeter, do you have anything?
Well, how we gonna do the budget for you?
I have a binder for you and Mr. Herron that I'll give you after the meeting. And it's up to you whether we meet in person or by phone to go through the budget. We'll talk about that after the meeting, what works best. And we'll just do it the best we can as far as the budget committee. In May, after the meeting, that was supposed to be a full budget workshop with the whole board. So we'll have to see how everything's progressing with the COVID and just do the best that we can.
Oh, I got it.
Mr. Tipton, do you have anything?
I would just like to say, I've been kind of used to this quarantine biz for a while, and I know it's kind of new for a lot of you, and I would just like to say that to you all, and just be safe and be careful and continue to do the stuff that we need to do, and like what you're doing now. I appreciate what you all have done this morning. You did a fine job, Ms. Kruby, and thank the staff and Frida and them for what they have done this week and what they are continuing to do. And I guess above all things, we just need to pray and pray and pray, till we get through this, because this is a time of uncertainty, and it's a time of time that we need just to have a call to unity and prayer and to the one that's able to take care of this situation. That's all I have.
Very well said. Thank you, Mr. Tipton. Mr. Herron, do you have anything?
From the last meeting, about the trash issue on the wall, that's getting resolved. Thanks to the ones that's been involved with that. Bring us back to the Duffield EMT situation. That's really set on my mind pretty heavy, especially now that, they had to lay off 4 full-time employees and so many part-time, but during this emergency situation, it seems like that should have been just the opposite. But, we really need to get this jail situation, that seems to be the head of that problem. I've talked to several people about it. One of the answers that I got, about that Medicaid would pick that up. Well, the problem there is when your bill is just, and I don't even know if they would pick it up when they're released. But anyway, there's a lot of questions, and we need to, I know this virus thing that's going to limit us on what we can do and when we can meet. But one of the problems, it's, they had to cut their night crews out, so they don't have anybody on night crews down there. What that's doing, that's spreading that out throughout the county. And I know Nicholsville had to go to the jail the other day. They had to go and take somebody to all the way from Nicholsville. There's been several times that Nicholsville's had to cover for Dungannon and Gate City, not just Duffield. But they've had to cover for those people, and there's been several times that's left Nicholsville with nobody. So, it's a growing problem. It's like a cancer. So, we really need to get on that and try to get that, off of us. I did talk to David Carter, and he did say that, he did receive some payment. Now, he wasn't for sure why he received that payment, and that's when we started talking about the Medicaid. Wondering if those inmates had been released and Medicaid picked that up and he got, I don't know, it was like $8,000, maybe something like that. But it's still like 51,000, something like that. So, we have to get on that, because if it goes another year, that it could possibly be $100,000 this time next year. We've got to get that under control. And then we've got those businesses down there, that work. I'm sure Tempur-Pedic works 3 shifts. There's nobody down there. If something would happen at that, there's nobody there close. But we need to come up with a solution. I wish we could put them back. We've talked about it. If we could find the money, I wish we could do it. I've pretty much exhausted all my ideas, but if we could come up with something, especially during this emergency thing. If there's something in this emergency deal that they just passed, through the federal government, anything to get them back at least until, through May at least. Of course, that's going to take, if they put all the crews back, I think that would take about $20,000. I think there were 2 night crews, maybe, something like that, maybe 3. But anyway, $20,000 to get them through May. Anyway, but if we just had one, go ahead. Somebody say something.
Frida, what about the meeting? He was going to try to set up a meeting with Mr. Clear and maybe a couple members of the board, yourself and Bill and Roger. Any word on that?
I did talk to Mr. Clear, and then all the virus stuff came about, and we're not allowed to meet in those numbers. And if it's face to face, there's no way we can do it because of the issues going on right now.
Get some money to help repair some of the slides on the road. I didn't know where they could get money for the life-saving crew during this emergency or not.
Another thought I had, Jeremy, was that driving from Nicholsville to Duffield at night, why not call on Powell Valley or over the mountain into Lee County? With the jail sitting, I can drive over to that prison quicker than I can drive from Duffield to Nicholsville.
Yeah.
That'd be a good way to draw some of these other counties in and let them know the problem the jail is in and we're in and our rescue squads are in.
I know they have to call Duffield first because they're the closest, but
they may be closer to Lee County.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know where Powell Valley would be that way.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
But any ideas are welcome. I mean, they're really concerned down there. Even the people. I mean, the ones in Nicholsville. It's leaving us with nobody. And it's because of basically because of the jail. That's the problem.
Yes.
And it seems like that's.
And Daniel, were you able to call the other supervisors, the chairman? No, I did not. No, I was waiting to see if this would work itself out through the regional jail authorities, hoping it would come back to them for that to come down. But I don't mind doing that, I will.
Just for clarification, the letter that was sent did not ask for money. It was making them aware of the situation with Duffield Rescue and the jail. It didn't ask them to pay money. It was making them aware that Scott County was footing the bill and Duffield Fire and Rescue was not able to get reimbursement for some of their costs. Just want to add that for clarification, because I think there was some confusion there.
Okay.
But anyway, if there's a,
Should we ask,
go ahead, sorry.
should we ask for money? Should we ask for the money?
I don't know how you would ask for it when you don't know where the patients are from, which locality they are from.
You know, that's,
Should we go ahead and try to set up by, social media, a meeting?
I can talk to Mr. Clear and get his,
Each time there's a transport, they need to know which county the, person is from.
I don't think you can ask that as an emergency medical provider.
Yeah, maybe not, but does the jail, I mean, surely they know.
you know, I was able to get online on their website, on the Southwest Virginia Regional Jail website. You can pull up all their inmates that are in all over the region. And it tells on there where they were arrested.
The county location.
Yeah. And, you know, it just on the county side of it. You don't actually give an address, but you can get on there, you can type in anybody's name, if they're in jail, it'll bring that up.
Well, if their charges are on there, like if they're charged in Lee County,
Mhm.
it's a Lee County inmate.
Right.
It doesn't matter if they live in Scott
Right,
County.
and that's, that's how, it's not a Scott County jail, it's a regional problem. So, you know, there needs to be something, or I'm sure, I'd say there is something.
And there was a regional jail agenda item around this time last year that was going to be voted on to see if money could be split between the squads, the rescue squads. And for some reason, there wasn't a quorum at that regional jail meeting. So that didn't get voted on. It was the last meeting of the year. So the way they do their budget, where it ends at, everything's been at June 30th and the localities pay their part from that, you know, it was not brought up the next meeting because it was after the start of the next fiscal year. So we're in the same situation now. Whenever the next regional jail meeting is, probably not gonna happen because there's so many people.
I think it's like, what, 30
30,
members
yeah.
on the smaller board, 10 or 12 on the presidential board, or whatever it's called, executive board.
You know, one avenue that we may want to go is, we're transporting those people to a medical facility. That medical facility is incurring costs too. And, you know, a good question would be how it's, ballot health
How they're getting.
handling this. And it seems to me it'd be the same type of, issue
Right.
for ballot health or Lonesome Pine or, anybody that they're taking to.
Did you not talk to Lonesome Pine last year?
I did, it was before the ballot health merge, and I did talk to someone at Lonesome Pine, and they said it was an issue, that they had occurred a bill that they were trying to resolve, but they hadn't worked it out at that point. Yes. Wolf Syria. So that may be a good reconnect. I'm sure they're, have other fish to fry at this point, but might be able to talk to their building and see if the regional jail has an outstanding, account with them as well.
I guess the main issue now, though, is, you know, if there was any way possible, we could get a night shift at that.
What did he tell us, $5,000
I think he said 5, yeah,
for one crew?
one crew, I think that's right. Danny, was you able to talk to the guy from Gate City, the one that's over in Gate City, Life Saving Crew?
I'm going with the association, they should work it out among themselves, if they have an association where all three of them are involved in, so they should be able to resolve that,
The
because
rescue
they're all in that same group.
Okay.
And there's a lady that's captain at Scott County now.
Oh, okay.
We're getting back to the individuals that that feels fire and rescue when the insurance for the prison does not pay for these people. They're told to bill them individually so they know where they're from. I mean, that needs to be something that's kept up with, and then we'll know which county they're from.
Didn't Mr. Carter say the majority of those are returns?
Yeah, he said a lot of those are obsolete addresses. They don't exist or something. So some of them do work that way, but a lot of the addresses, he said, are getting returned.
Because that's what he said, he had staff on his desk.
Yeah.
Returns.
But that could be easily solved with paperwork. You know, if we just know where these inmates are from, county-wise, I don't want their physical address. But if we know, and we know that, we can find that out ourselves. We can go in there and type their name in. We can find out where they were arrested. So if the inmate was arrested, and you know, that's another thing. Some of these might be Scott County. I mean, some of it might be ours. I don't know. Because he don't.
Does Roger,
You
does
know,
Roger not know to do that?
Does Roger not know to do that?
I don't know. I can mention that to him, or me, or Selma, or somebody can mention that to him. And
Okay.
Yeah, I've been meaning to call him. It weighs heavily on my mind. I think about it a lot, and I'll try to talk with, Roger, this week.
I mean, could Roger send a bill to the county?
I mean, it's open to the public evidently, because I can just pull it up and I can put my name in there. I put the herring in there, you know, and it pulls up all the herrings, you know, like, there wouldn't be, I don't think, but anyway.
Could you send me that link to email, Mr. Harris?
Yeah, I'll see, it's just Southwest Virginia, Regional Jail. It's just and it's on the right-hand side, it says inmate something. You can
Search.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'll take a look at that.
I'll send it to you. Try to.
Okay, thank you.
But anyway, I hate it, but that's something we need to get fixed. And if anybody has any ideas on how to maybe get another crew down there, especially during this time. You know, Gate City did put a crew at Dungannon. You know, they were able to put a crew at Dungannon. I don't know how productive they're being, you know, I mean, I don't know how many calls they're having to handle. But, you know, like Danny said, maybe between them, they could work out some sort of agreement, especially during this emergency time, to at least put maybe that crew at Duffield or something, and let Nicholsville handle Dungannon's, because it's only 15 minutes from Nicholsville versus 40 minutes from Nicholsville to Duffield, you know. Something, I don't know. But on a brighter note, I'm proud of our county. You know, they during this time, you know, our churches, they're still in operation. You know, it tickles me that they're able to use all their things that God has given, you know, to still spread the word there. But you know, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of all of our county. You know, we're sticking together. As far as I know, we don't have any positives yet in the county. So, like Mr. Tipton said, we just need to pray, trust that God will bring us through this. And He will. He always does. You know, we'll look back on this one day and say, well, you know, some of us did some crazy things, but we'll look back on it and say, well, God help us. So, but anyway, I didn't mean to talk so much, but that's all I've got.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Mr. Ricky?
Let me just continue on what Jeremy was saying there. I went down to get gas at Food City the other day, and there was a young man up there cleaning the nozzle and the tank every time you pulled out. So, you know, all these people that are having to work at Food City and the life-saving crews, and everywhere you go, I appreciate all the essential services, essential people that are out there. Commend them. Stephanie, you did a good job today.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody just stay healthy and happy.
Mr. Mann, do you have anything?
No, good job. We managed to have that job permanently. It's 9:27, we're almost through, so we never got through that quick before. So. But, you've done a good job today, and, I'll let you stay safe and keep your family safe, and, I'm glad we can do this for the citizens, Tiff and myself, and, sit here with you all on the YouTube channel. You're good on the phone, so that means you're both in and you're real well, so. Thank you, Bill Daniels, setting all that up. You've done a good job with it, and, God bless all of you. Stay safe.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Hood?
Well, I can echo Mr. Mann's comments about you, Mr. Pruitt. You did a great job, and I'm pleased too that I could be a part of this. And, I'm still working on DDoS situations. That seems to be my job. Everybody still call me about DDoS situations. Maybe they should put me over that. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. That's my primary job the last few days. So everybody stay safe and follow the guidelines, and so we can all get back together again.
Can I say one more thing, real quick? Sure. It won't be long. The Dean Holler Bridge, I drove down there the other day, they've got the steel set. They have, whatever that aluminum looking stuff is that they pour gravel or tar or concrete, they've got that on it, so hopefully in the next month or so, they'll have that done, hopefully.
And the Route 619 across High Knob is open now. That repair's complete.
And then I'll end with saying thank you all for attending today. Thank you to everybody who set everything up, to getting us to where we're all able to be together. That's impressive. And I appreciate the hard work everybody's done to be able to make this happen today. And with that said, I appreciate everybody. And that's all I have. No, we don't have any closed session items. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting until May the 6th, 2020, unless anybody has anything further. All hearts and minds clear. Meeting adjourned.
I'm sorry to say you adjourned.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. You did well.
Give me that trash can. No, I'm kidding.